Hey, what's up, guys? We got another big game for you today. The Browns are 12-10, White Sox 10-13. Chicago is kind of falling away from the top runners here in the American League, but St. Louis is definitely still up there. They were in first place for a little while. Looks like the Red Sox are starting to run away with everything, and we watched them 2 days ago. Here now is Hope Ferris for the Browns leading this off top of the first. He will roll a 16 for a 26, ground ball to second. Davis throws to first, one away. Tom Jones now. Jones rolls a 26 for a 27, ground ball to third. Tannehill, there you are, throws to first, two away. Here's Hartzell. He rolls a 22 for a 7. There's a single to right. My excuse for getting the players wrong is that they didn't have numbers back in those days. Here's George Stone. He rolls a 64 for a 13 and strikes out. We go to the bottom of the first. Rube Waddell on the mound there. 4-2 his record, 1.53 ERA. Normally that would be excellent, but the way that this 1908 season has played out, that's kind of middle of the pack. 222 batted against average. Let's try this one again. And there you go. The roll is an 11 for a 0 from Patsy Doherty. Next roll is a 14 for a 7, single to right field. That'll bring up George Davis for the hitless wonders. Davis rolls a 42 for a 22. He's hit by the pitch. That'll bring up fielder Jones. Runners on at first and second. Jones is hitting 292, 11 RBIs. I'll have him swing away. He rolls a 26 for a 29. That is a comebacker to Waddell, who turns around, throws to Wallace for 1, and on to first for a double play. Doherty moves to third. 2 away. Here's Jiggs Donahue. And he rolls a 15 for an 11. So that'll be a single for Donahue. He drives in the run, then steals second with Jake Atz up there. Here is Atz is at bat. 1-0 White Sox now. 2 hits for them. And Atz rolls a 61 for a 36, changed to 39. That means that, unfortunately, Donahue is thrown out trying to steal third base. Stevens throws over to Ferris, who makes the tag. So we go to the top of the second inning. 1-0 White Sox. And here is Jimmy Williams. Williams hitting 230 so far. Rolls a 34 for a 44. Fly ball to center field. Jones has that for the out. 1 away. Jim Stevens now. He will roll a 44 for an 8. There's a single to left center field that brings up Danny Hoffman. Stevens on at first. 1 out, top of the second. Hoffman rolls a 25 for an 8. There's a single to left center field. Moves Stevens up to second, and that brings up Bobby Wallace. So 1 out here in the top of the second inning. And the Browns are starting to rally a little bit. Wallace only hitting 167 has really been disappointing so far this season. He rolls here a 36 for a 33. There is a little E, however. And it's a 51 out of the range. That's a little pop-up over to the shortstop. Atz has that one, 2 away. And here's Rube Waddell. Waddell hitting 118, so it's not much better. And he rolls a 12 for a 25. There is a little E. There's always that chance. 46, though, is the roll. Ground ball over to the shortstop. Atz flips over to Davis for the force at second base, and we go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Chicago. Jake Atz now up against Rube Waddell. Rolls a 51 for a 14. That'll be a walk. Rube always a little bit wild. Here comes John Anderson. He rolls a 36 for a 32. Fly ball right field. Hartzell's got that, 1 away. Billy Sullivan, the catcher now, rolls a 66 for a 0. And the next roll will be a 16 for a 6. That's a double over first base, and that'll score the runner. Sullivan easily there into second base. Here comes Lee Tannehill, 1 out, 2-0 White Sox with the lead. Tannehill rolls a 42 for a 13 and strikes out. There's 2 away, and here comes Frank Owen, the starting pitcher. Owen rolls a 35 for a 13, and down he goes. We go up to the top of the third. It'll be Hope Ferris here for the Browns. Ferris, 0 for 1 so far today, rolls a 31 for a 9. It's a pop-up over to the left side. Tannehill, third baseman, has that, 1 away. Tom Jones rolls a 65 for a 35, and here's the little E roll. It's a 12 within the range. That'll be an error on the third baseman, Tannehill. That ball hit to him, and he boots it, and so Jones is on safe at first. And here comes Roy Hartzell. 1 out, 2-0 the lead. He rolls a 12 for a 24. There is a little E roll. Rolls a 45, and so that ends up being a ground ball double play. Atz on to Davis, and back on to Donahue at first for the double play. We go to the bottom of the third inning. It's still 2-0 White Sox, and here is Patsy Doherty as the lineup has turned over again. Patsy is a single, scored a run first inning. Rolls a 26 for a 27, ground ball left side. It will be Ferris who has that on to first, 1 away. I'm sorry, it says strikeout. This happens to me all the time. I forget about Waddell with the X, so it's a strikeout. My apologies. That's strikeout number 3 for Waddell. Here's George Davis. Davis rolls a 31 for a 14. That's going to be a walk. Waddell gives up 2 walks so far and has 3 strikeouts, and I think I missed all 3 of them. Fielder Jones comes up next. Davis on at first. 2-0 lead for the White Sox. He rolls a 42 for a 14, so he will walk. That's walk number 3 given up by Rube. Here's Jiggs Donahue. He rolls a 23 for a 32. Fly ball right field. Hartzell has that. 2 away. Here's Jake Adds. And he rolls a 53 for an 18. Change to 19. That's going to be an error on the third baseman, Ferris. That allows 1 run to score. Jones moves over to third. It's 3-0 White Sox. That's the first error here on the Browns. Both teams have an error so far and only 3 hits. But the White Sox have managed to score runs. John Anderson rolls a 43 for a 29. That'll be another strikeout for Waddell, number 4. And we go to the top of the 4th. George Stone is up there for the Browns. He rolls an 11 for a 0. And it's a 26 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field. And Stone is on, finds a way to get on base. That brings up Jimmy Williams. 3-0 White Sox. Browns are behind. Williams rolls a 46 for a 27. That's not going to do it. It's a ground ball to third base. Tannehill on to first. 1 gone. Jim Stevens now rolls a 54 for a 45. Here is a little E roll. It's a 51 out of the range. Fly ball right field, and Anderson has that for the out. As soon as he catches that, Stone takes off for third, and he will be safe. 2 gone. Here's Danny Hoffman now, runner on to third. Rolls a 35 for a 40, changed to 38. That's going to be a fly ball to right field, and that's going to be Anderson who grabs that for the out. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 3-0 White Sox. Billy Sullivan rolls a 44 for an 8. That's a little ground ball to shortstop. Wallace has it on to first. 1 gone. Lee Tannehill rolls a 53 for an 18. That's going to be a hit over to Wallace, the shortstop, who bobbles it, and Tannehill will be on for an error. That'll bring up Frank Owen. Time to bunt as usual. He rolls a 31 for a 23, and that's a poor bunt. It's popped up over to Owen. He grabs that and then throws on to first base to Donahue to double up the runner. We go to the top of the 5th. So you win by the bunt, you die by the bunt. Here now is Bobby Wallace. Wallace rolls a 63 for a 31. Fly ball center field. Jones has that for the out. 1 away. Rube Waddell. And Rube rolls a 24 for a 13. That's a strikeout. There's 2 gone. Here's Hope Ferris. He rolls a 41 for a 28 ground ball to short. And it's going to be Atz who has that. Throws to first. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Patsy Doherty now up for the White Sox. Patsy rolls a 34 for a 44. Fly ball center field. Hoffman's got that. 1 away. George Davis rolls a 32 for a 26 ground ball second base. Williams has that on to first. 2 away. Here is fielder Jones. He rolls a 56 for a 30, so easy fly ball to Stone in left field, and it's an easy inning there for Waddell. We go to the top of the 6th. Tom Jones comes up, and you can see that as the shadows move in here, the game becomes harder and harder for the batters. Jones rolls a 43 for a 29, comebacker to Owen, throws the first for the out, 1 away. Here's Roy Hartzell. He rolls a 26 for a 27. This time it's a ground ball to third. Tannehill has it on to first, 2 away. George Stone rolls a 65 for a 35. There is a little E roll. It's a 16, so that'll be a change to an 18. That's a ground ball over to Atz, who boots it for an error. Second error on the White Sox, and that'll bring up Jimmy Williams. Williams rolls a 52 for a 27, so it's a ground ball over to third base. Tannehill has it, flips over to Davis at the second base bag, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0 still White Sox. Here's Jiggs Donahue. Donahue's, I'll move that dice tray back, rolls a 25 for a 9. It's a single for Donahue off of Waddell, and then he's caught stealing because of the little C. So there's 1 away here, bottom of the 6th. Only 4 hits for each team. Jake Atz now rolls a 52 for a 27. He'll strike out, number 5 for Waddell, and here's John Anderson. Anderson rolls a 41 for a 28. Ground ball shortstop, Wallace on to first, and we go to the top of the 7th. Still 3-0. Close game. Stevens rolls a 24 for a 13 and strikes out. That's strikeout number 3 for Owen. 1 away. Here's Danny Hoffman. He rolls a 36 for a 30. Fly ball left field. Doherty has that. 2 gone. Here's Bobby Wallace. Bobby rolls a 41 for a 28. Ground ball to short, and Atz will have that on to first. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Here's Billy Sullivan. Sullivan rolls a 53 for a 19, change to 21. That's a ground ball over to Jones, and the first baseman boots it, and Sullivan's on with the air. Brings up Lee Tannehill. Sullivan fast enough he is, so we'll do some hit and run, have some fun. Rolls a 13 for a 39, and that means that Sullivan is thrown out trying to steal. Well, that's what we get. 1 away, Lee Tannehill, nobody on base now, rolls a 55 for an 8, ground ball too short, and Wallace has that on to first. 2 away. Here's Frank Owen. He rolls a 46 for a 13, and he'll strike out, number 6 for Waddell, and we go to the top of the 8th. And here is Rube Waddell coming up to hit. Rolls a 44 for a 9. That's a pop-up to the left side. Tannehill has that for the out. 1 gone. Hope Ferris rolls a 14 for a 43. Here's the little E roll. It's 45 out of the zone, so fly ball left field, and Doherty has that 2 away. Here's Tom Jones. He rolls a 53 for a 19. That's going to be a line drive over to the third baseman, Tannehill, who snags that in the air, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's Patsy Doherty here for the White Sox. Doherty rolls a 23 for a 32. Fly ball right field. Hartzell's got that. One gone. George Davis now rolls a 35 for a 36. That'll be a ball. Next rolls a 51 for a 9. That's a single for Davis, but the little C gets him. So he singles and then is thrown out trying to steal. 2 away. Fielder Jones rolls a 44 for an 8. Fly ball to center field. Hoffman's got that, and we go to the top of the 9th. Frank Owen's gone the distance so far. No walks, 3 strikeouts. 4 hits allowed, no runs. Roy Hartzell rolls a 53 for a 15. Changed to 16. It'd be a fly ball to center field. Jones has that. 1 away. George Stone comes up. 2 outs left for the Browns. Stone rolls a 53 for a 16. Changed to an 18. So that'll be a ground ball over to Atz, who boots it for the second time in the game. 3 errors on both teams, and here comes Williams. So Stone does have the 11. Will hit and run. Bunting does nothing. He rolls a 53 for a 19, and he's hit by the pitch. Now there's runners on a first and second. In theory, Jim Stevens is the tying run. Pitch comes into him. The rolls a 32 for a 26. That's a pop-up over on the infield. It's the second baseman, Davis, who calls for it and grabs it. 2 away, and here's Danny Hoffman, who's hitting 195, 261 on base percentage. No real slugging percentage. He's the last hope. He rolls a 51 for a 9, and that's a single for an infield hit, and that beats that one out. That'll bring up Bobby Wallace. So the bases are loaded here for Wallace. 3-0, the hitless wonders with the advantage. 5 hits for both teams. See what Wallace rolls. Frank Owen looking for a shutout. The rolls a 13 for a 14. He won't get the shutout, and he walks Wallace, and that'll bring up Rube Waddell. So Waddell comes up. We're going to pinch hit for him. I'm thinking Al Schweitzer, and yeah, it's going to be Schweitzer comes in. 2 outs, top of the 9th inning, 3-1 Browns with the lead, or White Sox with the lead. Schweitzer rolls a 65 for a 35. That's a strikeout, and that does it. So the first walk that Owen gives up is in the 9th inning to give up a run, and then he strikes out the last guy for his 4th. And that does it. The White Sox go to 11-13. The Browns down to 12-11. Everybody's playing 500 here in the American League. Hope you enjoyed that. Talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.